Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Twisted Paper Studio. How are you? It's day 3. Blessings to all of you. I will start out with my blessings and start my timer. And because the cards, everyone loved them, we're going to pick another card today for all of us. We'll do that really quickly. That'll be my first thing that I do. And then I'll wish you my beautiful blessings. So we'll just pick this card and it will be for us. Today we're getting the Celery Dragon Renewal. If you could see, isn't he cute? Let's take a look at what the Celery Dragon is and then we'll get started with our day. That's 2 C's in a row. Celery Dragon. The meaning of the Celery Dragon. Well, the key word is renewal, and the meaning is, with the arrival of the Celery Dragon comes the promise of renewal. Perhaps things have not been going your way. Maybe your life has seemed to be a series of upsets, from small mishaps to major catastrophes. Be glad to see this harbinger of rebirth. Like that phoenix who rises from the ashes, the Celery Dragon serves as a guide to show you the way out. Embrace a lightness of heart as you step into your next phase. Often there is a shadow period just before you can become your rejuvenated self. This is a time for you to awaken to a new way of being. Oh, that's a sweet one. I've never gotten a Celery Dragon before. Well, I'm happy to share the Celery Dragon with all of you. And now we'll move it on to our beautiful blessings. I'm just going to put my cards back here. And where'd my paper go? Oh, here it is. Okay, we have a whole list of things to go over today. And blessings. Beautiful blessings too. Enchanted Dream 71. Elizabeth Biesterfield, Presley Girl Creations, and Martine Buss. Hey guys, Presley Girl Creations has a brand new channel. She started her YouTube channel, and if you want to go over and say hello to her, I'll tag her in the I'll tag her below. We've all just been there and started out once, so it's nice for all of us to root on. That's what our community does best. So go root Presley Girl Creations on. She does crafts. I went and checked her out yesterday and I subscribed myself. Okay, so as far as for all of the people who have been commenting, I'm so grateful to you and I appreciate all of your feedback and questions and advice, and it's wonderful. I'm so glad you're all being interactive and saying hello. I do want to let you know that we will be advancing soon. I know that I'm going over a lot of basic stuff that I personally have. I could always learn more, but I like to teach what I learn as well. So I'm going over the basics and we will be advancing soon. I promise you, it won't be much longer that we're going over things, but everyone is learning at their own pace, and you could skip my videos and go to the past videos where I'm very, I teach more things about what to do inside the journal. If you don't want to watch this, if you do and you just want to hang out with me, oh, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so today we were going to go over paper like I promised. Okay, so there's all kinds of paper. Of course, we know that. There's so many different kinds of paper. There is notebook paper. You can get this notebook paper at the dollar store. Yes, you can. And guess what you can do with it? You can either put it in your journals blank, you can dye it, or you can print on it. Same as regular paper. Give it a try. There's nothing you can't do with paper. You can try anything out. There is lined paper. You can take it out. You can buy the ruled lined paper with the binder clip holes in it, without the binder clip holes in it. You can buy it in cream colors, in yellow colors, in white colors, you can do whatever. You can fold it in half this way in your journal. You can print on it in your printer. Just make sure that your edges are cleaned up. You can print on it in your printer. You can coffee dye it as well. You can tea dye it. You can dye it with the egg dye. You can dye it with the beet juice. You can dye it with anything, or you can leave it plain. Just put it in your journal as far as that, so you'll have journaling space in your journal. You can leave it plain. So there's all different kinds of paper. to use inside your junk journal, as well as digitals. There's digitals too. There's also ledger paper. This is newer, recent ledger paper. This stuff you can get in Staples, in Walmart, in your local dollar store. You can get this kind of anywhere. This is the new ledger paper that they have because they don't make that beautiful old ledger paper anymore. But you can also dye this, print on it, or leave it plain. Angela, one of my viewers, commented about dyeing papers. She gave a very, very old, Angela must be doing this a while. She gave a very, very old way to dye our papers that we used to do many, many years ago in the early days of scrapbooking, when we were all addicted to this and learning new things. You can take dried out felt markers, and you can also take your leftover ink cartridges. Even I've seen artists that take apart, so now we have the eco-filled tanks. Way back when, we didn't have the eco-filled tanks. We had the ink cartridges that had the little felt in containers on the inside that we used to carefully take apart wearing gloves. And then we would soak them in water or in some alcohol to add some alcohol to it to make it expand, and dye our papers with it. So you can also do that. I'm sure that you can Google and YouTube how to do that if you want to find out more information on it. I probably did it a handful of times. I used to try to take the toner out of powdered toner. This was back in the day, to write on my, just draw on paper so that it would attach the foil to it, because toner only worked with foil. There was a way to do that, but now there's lots of different tools and now lots of different ways to make it happen. So we'll go into that another day. That's if you use foil. I do, and I did during the time that I made invitations. So back to the paper. Okay, so there are then these are the graph papers, and they're coffee dyed. So you can use these in your book pages. These are coffee dyed and tea dyed. You can use your lined paper. You can use your plain copy paper. You can use newspaper print. This is newspaper print. I had a fumble with my printer this morning, so don't mind that. But this is the way it looks and sounds and feels printed on newspaper print. And you can print on front and back, and you can use that as paper in your journal. You can use regular copy paper. You can use book pages as pages in your journal, and then maybe collage on them afterwards. You can print out on music paper. I printed out some ephemera on music paper. I think it looks really cool. You can print out on envelopes, junk mail envelopes. You can print them out, and we'll go ahead and we can make pockets from them. You can just make a tag from it if you wanted to. I think it looks really cool. Just think outside of the box. Think whatever you can do with paper. If you're touching a piece of paper, try something with it. Try to print on it. Try to fold it in a new way. Try to use it as a page flip in a different way, or enclosure on your book page with an opening, or maybe a flip out and you fold it a few ways and it just flips into your book. You can use calendar pages. This is calendars, an old calendar. You can use old book pages that you find at the thrift shop. These are old. I did not coffee dye this, you guys. I did not. I bought this way. It was inside of a box. It was old copy paper, and look, it turned this color on its own. This is somebody's writing on here too. It turned this way on its own. So look in your thrift shops too for all different kinds of paper, because they might have an office supply section that you could find these things in. Little baggies, you can find those at your craft store. They're usually in the food. They're more for gift bags or in the food aisle, but you could find those. What else did I have to go over? Envelopes, ephemera, calendars, little bags, your kids' schoolwork. We went over that. What else? Blank paper. You can dye all your papers. Oh, telephone book pages, dictionary pages, recipe books, music papers, magazine, book pages. You name it, you could use it in your books, in your junk journals. If you have it at home, it might be laying in your basement. It might be laying up in your attic. Go check it out. Maybe there's a box that you forgot about that's holding some stuff that you're not using anymore. You can also use vellum. You can use tissue paper. Not tissue paper. What's it called? Tracing paper. Tracing paper. You can print on tracing paper. And you can just play around with your paper. You know, you may have a piece of paper in front of you, and you're just playing around with it and seeing what you can do. And I will show you. I will show you with a piece of paper. Actually, should we do it with a piece of... Let me see if I have something that I printed on and I could do it with. I don't. So let me pull this over to the side and I'll just show you what happened when I was playing with paper one day. Okay, give me 1 second. I do have a tutorial on it, but I just want to show you because I was playing around and it just happened. I folded it this way. And then back on itself. And I wanted to make an envelope. But then I said, wait a minute. So this made this envelope that other people were making. But then I said, what if I made an envelope this way, like an office envelope? I want to try that. So I folded this up over here, just like that. And then I took off those sides again. Remember how you do that? You take off those sides. And this one you take off straight across because you don't want to make that little diagonal yet because it's going to show. So there's your bottom, just like that. And then you can put this on the inside, or you can cut most of it off. You can put it on the outside and fold it up. Okay? And then now you need your flap. So here, we'll put this on the inside so it looks like a regular envelope. And you need your flap. So you just fold this down just like that. So we know that this is the top part, that we need this. So when we open it up, we just got to take off this side because we don't need the bottom part. We just need the top part. I'm making a bit of mistakes, and that's because I'm rushing, but that's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. And I'll just take this off right here. Okay, so now if I glued this all together, and I cut this little bit out here like this, I have an envelope for my journal. Now you guys could work on it. You could fix it up. You can take your top part and just make it like a real envelope. I just showing you a simulation. See, now it's like a real envelope top. But imagine if this was on printed paper, you would have a little envelope for your journal. So that's what I came up with one day. And of course I came up with all different variations of it. Long and tall and skinny, elongated flaps. Just play with your paper. You never know what you're going to come up with for your journal. Somebody else might have already come up with it, but maybe you've never seen it before. And and you want to, you know, make one for your book. Like here, this has a double pocket in here. If you were to put this in your book, close it up on each side, you got a double pocket now, where it was just a page before. It was just a piece of paper before. That's all it is a piece of paper. Don't let the paper scare you at all. You can do whatever you want with your paper. You can try it. It's not going to hurt you or hurt the paper. It may hurt the paper just a little bit, but it won't hurt the paper to try something out with a piece of paper that you don't know that you might be able to make. All right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, now let's move along. I may do this with you on film if we have enough time. I have my timer set. I may not. I may. Or I may start it. But I think what I'm going to do is move along to the binding of this book here. The simple binding, so that we can get through that today. And then if we have time, I'm going to do the 3-hole punch. But what I just do with the book? Hold on. Huh, my brain is kooky. Okay, here we go. We have this book here. And I want to show you guys. So it dried very nicely. All the crease and everything is done. And this is our paper bound book. All I'm going to do is make 2 holes right here. 2 holes in the center. You can eyeball it. You can measure it. You can do whatever you want. There's no wrong way. There's no wrong way. There's no right way. It's just a way. Okay, so this is 9 inches long, and my half is going to be at the 4.5 point. So I'm going to take a little, I don't know if I have a pencil here, but I'll use a little pen. So the way I do this to make it easier for me, instead of working with halves and quarters and all that stuff. So I know that the 4.5 is the center, right? So I'm going to put the little dot there, but I'm going to move it to a even number, right? That's good. So now it's an even number. Still it's the same measurement, and I'm going to move it up 2 inches this way, and then over 2 inches this way. And now I have an even place for my dots to go. And that's how I get my numbers. It's easier for my brain that way. It just works easier that way. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is turn this over. I have this tool. This is by Crocodile as well. I love this tool. This tool allows you to go in very deep on projects, or even short. It's much more versatile than the handheld Crocodile. But if you're just starting out, you can get away with using the handheld Crocodile tool. And I don't see mine in front of me. It's the handheld one. I don't know what I did with it at all. But you guys know what it looks like. It's the handheld one that I use in all my videos. And it's Crocodile, it's by We Are Memory Keepers. And it's Cropadile, I believe. I believe so. Yes, Cropadile. And this is Crocodile 2. Okay, so you can do either. You can get yourself a bookbinding tool on Etsy. I've heard people say that they're on Etsy, or you can go and look on Amazon, things like that. You can also go to your local Walmart. You don't need your local Walmart, your local Staples. You don't need to get your bookbinding whole kit tool thing on, at first. You don't have to, because really all you need is a needle. I use this long needle. You don't have to. There's shorter ones. I just made sure it has a big eye. Plus the fact that my eyesight is I'm getting older and it's going with age, so I need to see things better. So I got a long needle with a big eye. Somebody told me this is an upholstery needle. I've seen them in Walmart. I've seen them in Michael's. I've seen them in Hobby Lobby. They're in the sewing section. So I have this. I do not have a bookbinding kit per se. I have this. I have one of these. I have a needle that does the same thing as this and this. I got this because it was, I found this in a, when I was antiquing. So this is old, but they also do sell them new. This happens to be an antique. And then you need some string. You can use whatever string you want. The going string is the string that's waxed linen string. I don't always use that. I ran out of it, and then I just started buying this hemp cord. This hemp cord you can get at all of the Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and also Walmart. They all sell it. You can buy waxed hemp cord online. I'm sure you can buy it in Michael's and Hobby Lobby and all that stuff too. Walmart. I never go to look for it. Actually, I don't know if they sell waxed hemp cord in Walmart. I know that they sell the regular one, and Walmart is close to me up here, and I bought it. It was in all the colors, and I like all the colors. So the waxed cord, different from the hemp cord, different from seam binding, whatever you'd use in here. The waxed cord goes through easily. And if you're a serious junk journal maker and you make a bunch of signatures, 5 signatures in a wide spine, and you perfection and you want it perfect, I would suggest, yes, go with the waxed cord. Yes, do that. It lasts longer. It looks nicer. It's more professional. That could be the word used. But as far as just making a junk journal pretty and just one to, get you going or get you started, or just to have fun with them, or giveaways, or you can even sell these without the wax cord. But if you're just wanting to have fun and have a diverse selection of color, selection of styles, selection of texture, it doesn't quite matter what you put in your spine, as long as it's strong to hold it. That's all that matters. I have some beautiful cording and beautiful seam binding, but they're not strong enough. They'll fall apart. They fall apart if you go like this. You don't want that. You want something strong if you're going to go with pretty. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So, now, let's go back to where the holes are. So I could do this. I could take my hole punch and pierce a hole in there. I don't need this big fancy tool. I've moved up to this big fancy tool. So you can move up to it too, or if you can afford it, you can get your big fancy tool right now. However, you don't exactly really need it. You could use a hole, one of these little $1.99 tools, I forget what they're called, the ice pick thing, to poke your hole through. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that if you're just starting out. So this is basically really all you need just starting out. And your hemp cord string. This whole thing right here might cost you about $12 for everything. And you can get it at Walmart. Okay, so let's make these holes in this book. And then we will pick out some papers, and I'll show you the easy way how to bind this book with some seam binding. So I know my hole is here, and I'm going to find it. There's a little, when you press down here, there's a little lever that comes out to punch your hole. But I cannot see it looking directly up at it. I have to look to the side. It's best to look to the side if you have one of these tools. And I'm just going to do that now and try to eye it in the center. Whoops. Hold on. I need my... There we go. I'm going to do it on this side. I lost my pen mark, so sorry about that. I'm taking my time, you guys. Okay, so it's a little uneven. I don't have my glasses on. I forgot them in the other room downstairs, and I already started my video and realized it after, so it's a tiny bit uneven, but you know what? It's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's fine. It's, one's just a little over to the right, but the ribbon might cover it, so I'm really not worried about it. Okay, so now the papers that I chose, there's a bunch of different papers here. We can go with a dictionary page. We can go with some of this old color, naturally dyed copy paper. We can go with a book page, an old book page. We can go with another old book page of a different kind. We can go with an old calendar page. Let's pull one out. Why not? We can go with a piece of music sheet. Why not? As long as it's strong enough. Okay, I found some, let me see what else I have here. We can go with some, here's some more book page that I have. Right here, we'll go with that. And here's some coffee dye. Oh no, this is avocado dyed. Oh no, wait, I apologize. This is not avocado dyed. This is the beet juice with water added and coffee dyed. So it's both. Isn't that cool? Isn't that pretty neat? And this one is coffee dyed. Here's some dictionary page. Here's some ledger paper. And then I'm a big fan of children's books. I love children's books. So I have a bunch of children's books, and we'll just use that too. I probably might cover it up, but I don't know. We'll see. This is just for to get you guys started, to show you how to put these pages in. So let me see how many pages there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think we're going to go with that. I think that's how many I'm going to put in here, is 13. Now, that will be called a signature. So let's put that together. That is what is called a signature. 13 pages to make it a signature. And that is 13 pieces of paper. However, a signature is, let's put this together here. A signature is that, that little selection of paper, this whole little bundle of paper. And there are 13 pages in it that we made of the signature. But in a book, it is no longer only 13 pages. Now it becomes 13 times, let me see, 13 times 2 is 20. Oh man, is my brain gonna mess up right now on camera? It probably is. Okay, so at 13 pages becomes times 2 is 26. So now it becomes two sides of it. You see how there's 13 on this side, and then there's 13 on this side. So there's actually 26 pages in the book instead of 13. And that's how the books work. So if you have a book that you make and you only have 10 pages in it, when you fold it in half and make doubles of the pages, it becomes 20. And just give me 1 second, because I think my brain is playing a trick on me. I think that I'm not thinking right. And I'm thinking that it could be even possibly more. Okay, let me see. So there was 13 pages here, right? So this is our first page, our second, our third, our fourth, our fifth, our 6th, our 7th, our 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I knew I was wrong. Okay, so there's 26 on this side and 26 on this side. That's because there are 13 pages altogether. And the 13 times 2 is 26. So this side becomes 26 and this side becomes 26. So in actuality, there are 20 and 20. Oh my gosh. 6 and 6 is 12. Plus 1 is 52. There's 52 pages in this book now. 52 pages now in this journal book. That's how you derive your numbers. So let's do that again because I'm sure I confused you because my brain got lost for a minute. However many pages you put into your book, once you double them, they become times 4. So if there's however many pages you put in your book, you got to times it by 4. That's how many pages you will have in your book because you'll fold them in half. And if you don't fold them in half and you just, attach them on, you'll have to count that on your own. If you just attach another piece on and it becomes a page, that's still considered the one page. I don't mean to confuse you. Sometimes my brain gets scrambled on camera. So that's a signature. And if you added another signature on, then you would count those pages just the same. One packet of papers times 4 if you're going to double it. Fold it in half. That's what I mean by double it. All right, so let's make this the size here and then get them in the book because we have 52 pages in this journal. And where's my ruler? I hope that helped you and I didn't confuse you. I really hope I didn't confuse you and I hoped it helped you. Okay, I think I'm going to take this page and fold it up to make a pocket. That's what I think I'm going to do. And it still counts as a page. I'm going to get my height first, somewhere along the lines here. So I need to take a little bit off here, and I think I'm just going to take it off the bottom. And it doesn't matter to me if things rip. To be honest with you, it adds character. In my eyes, in my opinion, things add character like that to me. All right, that's good. And this is good. And I think that we will take off a little at the bottom. I'm going to turn this way. And I could use this in other places. It has a beautiful number on the bottom. It's also nice paper. It's vintagey. It's got a nice color. And I could use it to collage elsewhere. Okay. And maybe I'll do this one as a pocket too. And I'll show you how to do that. I don't know. I want to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to take this off here. And this is how you do put together a signature. Now, I could also take some digitals and put them in here too. I could definitely do that. But today, I didn't choose to do that. Maybe we'll take one digital and put it inside here. You can make it all digitals. There are no rules. It's up to you and what you like. It's your book. You're making it. And it's your art. It's your art. Your book that you're making is like your art. You're just having fun and enjoying and letting your creative experience come out. That's basically what we're doing. Crafting and creating art, and also learning about ourselves, you know. I learned through art how to love myself, to be honest. I learned what I loved. I learned about me. I learned lots of things through my art. I learned my passion. I learned what makes me happy. I learned so much from creating art and just experiencing with things and being happy with myself. Okay, so we're going to put this together like this. And then, you know, you might say to me, why I'm putting all these book pages in there? Why aren't I using all digitals? And, you know, who's going to write on these book pages? Or this book page, per se? Or who's going to want to read about that? Well, I'm not leaving it this way. I'm going to decorate these afterwards. But, however, I'm going to use this paper to decorate on what I want. And I may not cover it fully. I may only cover it partially and leave some of these letters. I like the typography. I like the way the paper feels. I like all the different textures in the book. To me, this feels yummy. I love this. I love all of the different feelings of all of these different papers. They're not all the same as if you were to print them out, and I will pull this out here. Hold on one second. If I were to just do the whole book in digitals, yes, they're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They have all different colors and all different things and images, but every single piece of paper is the same. And it feels to me like a brand new book that you'd buy in Barnes & Noble. Even though I love brand new books, don't get me wrong. But that's what it feels to me. There's no history behind it. There's no different feelings with each page, each texture, each just color. There's no differences. This is all the same paper. And yes, I love this. I love it. I'm not knocking it. I absolutely love it. And you may love all of this for your signature. But I personally don't. And that's why I choose to mix it with all different kinds of papers. And I think a lot of you are in that same boat with me. I think a lot of you like all the different feels and textures of your book pages as well. So I think that we will add one digital in here that I have, and this is actually not a digital kit or anything. This is my own personal paper, and I'm just going to take off this end here like this. Guys, I promise I will be getting to more digital soon. I was working on things and then all of it stopped, and now I started the 100-day project. And as soon as I am able, I'm going to get myself into town and get on my digital. Well, you know what? We're not going to see that. And we're not going to see that. I'm not going to put it in there. I'm going to wait and save that for something else. Okay, so we'll just work with this. We're working with this. This is what we're going with. All right, so now I'm going to size it up in my journal. And I want my signature to have a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, so it sits just right. You want it a little bit all around. You want it to where you close it, it's not sticking out too much. If it does stick out a little because you like that look, fine, let it stick out a little. That's perfectly fine. But it will get annoying to you if it's sticking out a little because the paper will all get crumpled. So as far as clipping it together, you can use these bulldog clips. They're readily available at any office supply store. They do sell these long paper clips. I did like them. I saw other artists use them, and I went and purchased them myself because I do like how they get all of the papers at once. Sometimes I like these clips and sometimes I don't. These are readily available in your sewing room. I like them for sewing. However, the pinch is too tight sometimes, And sometimes they either rip the paper if it's delicate paper, or they leave a mark on the paper. So I tend to not go with these most times if I can get away without using them. So I'm going to, this is really easy for me this time, this go around, because of the fact that I have these holes already in my book. So since I have them already in my book and I know about where I want to make this punches, I am going to find that right here and just put, I'll do this. I'll just go through this with my tool and I'll show you. Hold on one second. I want to get my papers together first with my binder clips or my paper clips, whatever I'm using, so that they stay. All right, so let me go back a little bit because I'm supposed to be teaching. And now I'm like, this is for the beginners now. I'm putting them in the clip, one on one side and then one on the other. This is the signature way that I'm going to go with. Everything's in order. Everything's upright and in the right direction. My book's in the right direction. That's if I was using printed papers, but I do have some papers here that are right side up, the wording. So now I'm going to find my holes that I already put into my book. And I could eyeball it or I could use my ruler. You can do whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. So today we'll use our ruler. And we already know that this is 9. So we're going to put our paper in its place, hold it steady. We're going to get our 4.5 mark. And you can put a little mark in there. I'm just going to use the little tool for a second and make a line so I could see. And then I'm going to move that over to the 5. Now, I'm going to put my 7 here. That's where it was. I went up 2, and then I went down 2 from the 5 over here. And my paper is sitting just right all around in this book, and that's where I want to put my holes in this paper because I know that they will match my holes on the spine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to double check because remember I did actually make that mistake with the 3.5, you know. So I'm glad you guys trust me and stuff. Let me just double check that I made those marks at the right spot. No, I did. Okay, so you have 2 choices. You could use this tool, or you can use your needle. I would use the tool, and I'm just gonna close this up. When you have it closed and you push through with your tool, make sure your hand is not in the way, make sure it's down lower. It makes it so that the hole that goes through, the tool that goes through, doesn't mess up your papers and go on all different crazy spots. It goes exactly on the folded line when it's closed, when you push it through. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So I have it closed, I'm holding it in my hand, and I'm just going to push it through the hole, just like that. And now when I open it, that hole's in the same spot everywhere, and it's on the line. If I did it while it was open, and then I tried to close it, the hole might not be all in the same spot and on the line. So it's easier when that piece of paper is closed, just like that. Get your fingers out of the way and you push it through. All your holes will be in the same spot. Still keeping the clips on. Now you're going to use your whatever tool you have to thread with, and whatever you're going to thread it with. So I was going to check out some of my seam binding first because I don't know what I'm quite doing with this book yet. I like that. And I don't know. This one's red and pink. I don't think I'm going to go with that. And this is gray. No, I think I'm going to choose this blue. To use that blue. But you don't have to. If you don't have seam binding, you don't have to choose seam binding. You can choose, hemp cord. Now, there are plenty of places that sell seam binding in small little... Oh, I was going to look at this too. No. Oh, maybe. No. There are plenty of places on Etsy that sell seam binding in small little packets. You don't have to buy a big... I've had these in my stash for a long time, and you don't have to buy a big reel of them. Okay. So, I have this threaded. I'm going to go through the inside one. Doing it with the seam binding ribbon is very, very easy. You just go through your book page hole, and then you go through one side. Now, depending upon what you want, if you wanted your ribbon tied in here, you would start from the outside. I want to tie my ribbon on the outside. I like that look. So I'm coming through from the inside. And again, I know this is repeat stuff, but there are new people, and I would like to give them the opportunity to learn as well. So thank you for bearing with me, all of you guys. And I hope that I'm not boring you. Okay. Let me go in here. And we will, after tomorrow's 3-hole pamphlet, we're going to do the 3-hole pamphlet tomorrow. After that video, I think I'm just going to jump right into making some ephemera, and then, talking about a little bit about the ephemera and what you can get from it and do with it. And then we will just go into making, because I think that, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing. I have a whole list of things to be making, and that's what I think. Merry Monday will be Merry Monday. I did want to let you know that. Now I'm just going to pull it tight so that it's in place, and my papers are in place, and then I'm going to tie. I'm making sure that it's upright and everything's in right. I'm going to tie this first outside, and I am going to tie it in a bit of a knot, and then tie my bow so that it will stay in place. Because if I just tied a bow, it would come loose. So bear with me a second while I do that. I need 3 hands, one to hold it down, one to pull it tight, taut. Hold on. I have to be quiet and concentrate. Okay. And then I'm just going to tie my bow. Like that. And you can trim up the edges. I don't know where's any of my scissors. They all fell. My scissors all fell. Like so. There. And I could take these off. Like this. Very easily. Okay. And now, the pages inside. Oh, sugar. I just threw it really far. Sorry. The pages inside that I made pockets. I can go ahead and take some washi tape to close them up. I can close them up with glue, or I can close them up with a scrap of paper. I could use the scrap of paper that we cut off the pages and just go like this to close up the pockets and collage it right on there. It's up to you how you want to close up those pockets that we made in the book, if you decide to make them too when you put in things. All right, so while the camera's still ticking, I'll go over something that I was going to go over tomorrow, and then we can get that off the checklist. Oh, wait, there was some more. Okay, printing. I did want to tell you guys some helpful hints. If you don't know this, I get asked this a lot, so I'm offering you the information. I only know this because I used to make invitations and I had to send my things out sometimes to get printed. So, if you do not have a printer, you can still buy digitals and use them in your work. Digitals are not expensive. Like I said, they're one of my favorite things to use. If you don't have room on your computer, you can get one of those little tiny hard drives. I don't know if I have any on my desk to show you. They're a tiny little hard drive, but you guys know the kind I mean. They're USB port type. And you can get one of those to hold your digitals, and it won't take up space on your computer. If you buy digitals, I would suggest, coming from experience, that you categorize your digitals either in the maker, by the maker who made it, or in holidays or themes, still with the maker who made it, so that you guys know this. Because once you download that digital, if the maker doesn't put their information on the download file name, you're really not going to know, especially if they're not on the digital themselves. And if you buy a lot of digitals, you won't know. So I suggest, that's a good tip to give you, is to put the digitals in categories of the themes, and also make sure that you have a little file folder showing who made or where you bought the digital, just in case you ever want to buy any more digitals back from them again, or in case you want to know if somebody asks you. Okay, now as far as printing your digitals, if you don't have a printer, or if your printer's broken, or if you're in the business of shopping for a new printer, you can call your local print office. That's Staples, that's Office Max, that's, I forget. There's so many local printing shops. You can call them and ask them if you emailed them files, would they be able to print them? They most likely will tell you yes. Staples will definitely tell you yes. Office Max will definitely tell you yes. So they will give you their email address to where you can email it to, the file that you want, and you can tell them what you want printed. So if you email them a bunch of files and say you want 1 copy of each, or 5 copies of each, or a copy of, 5 of this and then something of this on the back side, but you want a double-sided page, they will do it for you. You just have to call and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions to your printing house, Staples especially. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. Not many people know about this. That's why I'm sharing it with you. If you cannot print at home, don't be afraid to go and ask your local print shop if you can get your digitals printed there. Okay, that was that. Now, let's take a piece of paper. We're going to take a piece of paper, and we can, let me use a piece of copy paper. This is just something I'm going to go over tomorrow. This is for newbies, new people. We call you newbies. Everybody's a newbie if you're new at something. I was a newbie once too. It's a cute name, I think, anyway. Okay, so this is a piece of paper. If you have a digital that you printed out on here, and it's a collage digital from someone, you can back it with cardstock, you can back it with book page, you can back it with a coffee dyed piece of paper, or you can print it out on heavier cardstock. It can become many, many things. So I'm just going to show you, if we folded this in half, and this had a printout. Let's pretend it was printed. Do I have any printables that I can play with here? Here. I think some of these got ruined. So let's play with this here. This is what I printed out from my printer. This can become many things in your book. This one sheet of paper. So if I took off the side here like this, right here, this can become a belly band. If I took this off like this, okay, this can become 2 journal cards. 1, 2. It can also become a tuck in the corner. Let's get that. It could become a journal card. It can become a tuck in the corner. I can glue down the 3 sides and it can just have something to tuck in. You can put it in here as a tag and pin it in here. You can make it a little bit smaller. You can make it a tiny bit smaller, like that. And you can glue it right here and it can become a side tuck. There's your piece that could become your belly band. If you had a bunch of little pieces put together like this and then you stapled it, you can use this as a belly band around your piece of ephemera and put it in a pocket or put it in the tuck. These can become tags, tall and skinny, fat, or even skinnier. These can become pockets this way. It can become a pocket. It can become a tuck up at the top. You can make it a fold. You can fold it in half and just make a little booklet out of it to put in your book, like this. I mean, I'm just giving you an example. And you can put it inside your pocket in your book, like that. But one piece of paper printed with a digital, or one piece of paper that you collaged over the whole thing, can become many different things in your book. It's the terminology that you have to use to get used to, but it doesn't always have to fit the terminology. And what I mean by that is, if this is tall and skinny and you see it as a belly band, it doesn't have to be a belly band on the page. It could be a belly band on just your loose papers. It could be a bookmark because it's long and tall. It can be a side tuck because it's long and tall. It can be many things. Many things. This one long strip of paper can be many things. And if this is what you're calling a journal card, it doesn't have to be a journal card. It can be a tag if you just take a little bit more off. It's a little square, it could be a square tag. It could be a tuck up here. It could be a tuck at the top. It could be a side tuck over here. It could turn out to be one side of a door that you want to make to put in your book. It can be a little pad that you want to put in a pocket. It could be a pocket. It could be so many different things. And you get all of that from one piece of paper. It's either a digital or even here, even this. It could even be this. You can even make all those things out of this and then possibly just take, I don't know if I have any scraps in front of me, you guys, but I mean, excuse me. I need a drink of water, and I forgot my water. I've been talking so much. I don't really have any scraps in front of me to show you, but do I have something? Not really. But if you were to take that book page or take this page and put it on here, and you wanted to change it to make it match the theme, you could also collage on it. You could put a little focal point on it right here. You can do so many things with one piece of paper to change up the insides of your journal. And you just have to learn the language. But even when you learn the language, journal cards, tags, pockets, tucks, side tucks, envelopes, pads, whatever, twisted paper pleasers, twisted dangles, it doesn't quite matter what it is. As long as you just decide where to use it or decide how to make it your own style in your own way for your own books. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. You can, oh, and look, our timer went off. Okay, so you can learn those words. They're just a few. But they have many things to do in the book. They're not just a tag, or it's not just a tuck, or it's not just a journal card. You can do lots of different things with those base of an item in your journals. and just have fun. Try something out. If you have a piece of paper in your hand, play with it. I saw somebody once do this with a piece of paper. I think it blew my mind. So they folded it over like this, right? This is gonna blow your mind. You ready for this? I'm gonna glue this here. Whoops. I'm gonna glue this at the bottom here like that and glue this up here. Just like that. And you'll get to learn all these things too. I don't know if I have a hole, but I do. I don't know if it's gonna work. A hole punch right here. I hope this works and it doesn't give me an issue. Okay, it kind of did. We'll just go with the flow. I'm gonna glue this down like that. I'm gonna have a little pocket there now. See that? It's a pocket. And I'm gonna fold this over here like this. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to do it after. When you play with this stuff long enough, you'll remember. I'm on camera. You guys have to forgive me. Okay. And then you can make a tuck here. Like that. This is just for an example. Please don't judge me on my skills today. I just want to show you. Now, you have this little piece here. There's a tuck there, and then there's a pocket in there. And you can collage all over it. You might want to put this piece on the back. I think that's the way it went at first. And if I was playing, I mean, there's so many things, guys, to make that my brain doesn't always work right. I have to play around with it first. That's what you have to do too. And my best advice to you is if you're going to play around, because I did this on the real paper. If you're going to play around with a piece of copy paper. It's the most fun. You won't ruin anything by using it, and you'll make more stuff. Blessings to you all. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for day 4. Bye for now, my crafting buddies.